All right, who missed me? I'm going to get back to some full-length videos now that things have finally calmed down. But I would like to add, why are you all lagging to join my Patreon? Is it because I'm male? It's because I'm male. I know. But do it anyway. Most of you are female anyway, you know. 3 levels of membership. The first one's $5 a month. That's right, only $5. Second one is 30, in which case you get to pick a video I do once a month, and that's a full-length video. And the third one's 100, and that includes, you know, a private consultation with me about your current situation, be it about escaping a narcissist, or if you are seeking my skills as a fully initiated Lilithan witch. And even though my most popular witchcraft video is that explaining why love magic is dangerous and why I've never done it for myself, everybody contacts me about that because it's like, he's a male with a pact with Lilith, and he's also the fucking last blue dragon of Ortona. He's a Casanova, and he's the last of the Casanova witches, which since my mother's death I am, is, you know, we're dying out quite quickly, and everybody else is converted to Catholicism. So indeed, I am. It shows you what a poor state, you know, the blue dragons are in if their last surviving member is male, an unmarried male with no children, nonetheless, who ironically values unconditional love above all else, and is not only a Casanova descended from, you know, the infamous Giacomo, but has a pact with Lilith, but refuses to use love magic. It's funny when you think about it. Not from my perspective, but to an outsider. Anyway, topic of this video, and subscribe if you haven't. Life after a narcissist. I talk a lot on this channel about what, you know, how to identify a narcissist, both an overt, a covert, a borderline, a histrionic, etc. The gambit of cluster B personality disorders, how to identify them, how to break free, and why no contact is the only answer, and also why you must embrace your own empowerment and free will. Queen Lilith can help you with that by why ultimately not only should you go no contact, but you should, and it is your duty to, in my, you know, not so humble opinion, to call that narcissist out, to rip that mask off, and to expose them for who and what they are. That is the only way you truly take your power back. Not only do you have a duty to not let that narcissist, or do whatever you can to not let that narcissist have future victims, but it empowers you to let everybody around them see them for who they truly are, as they try to label you as crazy. And it's like, nope. You see now, like, you fools all fell for that hammy overacting. Like, this is who he really is. This is what I put up with. This is what you thought was a good person, you dumb son of a bitch. He played you like a damn fiddle, and don't you feel stupid now? Yeah, see, like, you stood up for that. You should be ashamed of yourself. A lot of memories. I've had that conversation more than a few times. But this video is about life after a narcissist and what that looks like. Well, it can look in a couple different ways. So, if like in my case, if you were raised by a narcissist and you break free, like either finally because they die, as my borderline mother did 2 years ago, or as like when I was 19 and moved away for the first time, the summer of 06, I spent, you know, living in a different state. I was in New York. I was working quite a bit for VNY modeling agency. I was getting a decent amount of work then. They were trying to get me to stay and sign on full time, but I was testing for Arlington County Fire Department, which was my dream job, and I wanted to go there, blah, 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 blah. You know, I was working part-time as a line cook at Leal because my best friend from high school was in CIA, Culinary Institute of America, not the other CIA, and was interning there. So it was a really fun summer, and I was hanging out with soap opera actors because, you know, I knew I'm a Phoenix boy, and we'll just say one of the soap operas on ABC that don't exist no more, that used to be filmed in New York, one of their main characters is also a Phoenix boy. I'll just call him JP. It shouldn't be hard to figure out who he was. He was kind of like my older brother when I was there, and, you know, I got to hang out with his co-stars, and they kind of treated me like JP's little brother guy, which was awesome. Even though, you know, I was blatantly hitting on a certain big-eyed, big-lipped, blonde, gorgeous Canadian girl who was about like 6, 7 years older than me, but, you know, blonde, big eyes, big lips, couldn't help myself. You know, I tried. I think I did better than any 19-year-old would have in that situation, but I digress from my past. I bring that up because that was the first time that I spent any longevity away from my narcissist. And not only away from the narcissist, but away from the flying monkeys and that whole environment that enables that cult-like behavior where it's like, no, you have to do what you're told, and this is the way it's supposed to be, and everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything, and you just have to go along with the program. It's like, well, what fucking program? The program. What program? The program. Well, who makes the program? The program just is. Says who? Well, you know, boomer logic, because boomers, especially boomer narcissists, they only speak in platitudes and cliches and generalities because they have no independent thought. They are a hive mind. They are the Borg. But again, this is not just about my personal experience. To explain. All right, so you've broken free of the narcissist. If it's a narcissistic parent, congratulations. You can finally pursue your dreams. You are no longer a reflection of me, a dull reflection, because they don't want you to be successful. They want you to struggle your whole life in some meaningless, degrading occupation that they have picked for you to be like, it could never be as good as me. You know, it's like, well, how did you get everything you got? By being born boomer, the chosen ones. But that is one way. So break free of your narcissistic parents, pursue whatever career whatever you desire. As long as you have, like, I'm not going to judge you for what that dream is, as long as you've actually researched it and, you know, figured out a path to achieve that, as I did when I was 18. I'm like, gee, I want to get the fuck out of Chester County. I want to be a professional firefighter. Okay, so I became an EMT at 17 years old. I saved a bunch of money, saved my money from being a runway model in New York instead of trying to be like, you know, like my mother urged me to like buy a sports car and stuff because she wanted nothing more than for me to basically be a low rent version of James Franco, where it's like, oh, look, you fucking whoas. Like, you know, I'm not only look and sound like the stereotypical Italian American, but like you know, I'm a mindless materialist that's just trying to bang as many women as I can to say I did, and because I actually care about like what you fucking townies think of me. Oh wait, no, I don't, because you're all in a cult and you all have a hive mind and don't think for yourselves, and you have no free will, no independent thought, and you're just mindlessly going about your lives as you're told to try to recreate some dulled version of the past that you've told is Eden, because you don't question anything, because you're afraid to live outside of your comfort zone, because you need this corrupt system and feed off each other to survive. Because if you had to survive off of your own talent, integrity, charisma, etc., you would fail, because there's no good old boys club for you. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of rants in this, but my points are valid. So yeah, in that aspect, I didn't listen. And it's like, oh, I got to take civil service tests. And I did all that in, you know, different states, blah, blah, blah. I think I went into the whole story about how I was screwed out of that. If not, I'll do it in a different video. But we're not going into that. But in any way, I was cheated big time. And in part, New York played a part in this, because I don't think I ever told the story about why I got booted out of VNY. But in short, you see this? See how that's deformed? That happened during that. The short version of it is something happened to a close female friend of mine, and Mr. Big Shot Boomer felt entitled to do that because I'm me, and I disagreed and flew into a, you know, demonic Lilithan rage and taught him a lesson. A painful one. Painful for me too, but I didn't realize it at the time. It, you know, adrenaline and all that. But he never bothered her again. And I, you know, wasn't a model for VNY anymore either. Anyway, so in essence, if you are part of that environment with the narcissistic parent, pursue your dreams. Everything they told you was a lie. They want you to be subservient and dependent on them, and for you just to be that dulled reflection, for you to just live the life they wanted. Now, point two, if you were in a long-term relationship or lived with or engaged to or married, to a narcissist, the aftermath is going to be your self-worth is shit. Your anxiety's through the roof. Because particularly, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, they were trying to isolate you from any support group you had. Say you have like good parents and, you know, that healthy environment. They don't want you around them. But no. They want you to believe that they were the best thing that ever happened to you, that you were so lucky that they chose you and that you'll be nothing without them and that, you know, nobody of any quality will ever want you because they're the best that's ever been. So the anxiety that you're going to feel in the aftermath of breaking free of, say, like a narcissistic husband or fiance is that no decent man's going to want you, that you will forever be nothing more than, you know, a trophy or, you know, the hot girl that's a notch in the belt. And that's just simply not true. You just have to learn how to trust your intuition and, you know, judge people. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because you actually have to open up and have those deep conversations with people and see what they're all about, you know. And I mean, by deep conversations, I mean one-on-one, because, you know, speaking from an INFJ perspective, you know, the deepest of the deep, we're not going to open up in a group setting. Yeah, you can interrogate us and we'll tolerate it. I mean, well, I'm kind of speaking for myself because I hang around mostly women. So a group of women can interrogate me and I don't feel uncomfortable. But it's got to be the right setting. You know, it can't be like a super like loud club setting or like a work setting. It's got to at least be like, if you're going to have like a group of women interrogate me, at least let it be like somebody's apartment, you know. But more or less for normal people, you have to see what they're all about. You got to have those conversations. And in modern day with social media and texting and video chat and all that, you don't even have to be in the same room, but those questions have to be asked. You have to ascertain this information from people you may be interested in. The other thing you got to be aware of is, while well-meaning, some of your friends are going to be like, well, we're going to set you up with this person because everybody else has someone and you're alone. But when you're damaged by a narcissist, you attract narcissists. And, you know, then let's just say normies will just see like, oh, this guy's hot and he throws money around. Let's set her up with him. It's like, it's probably another narcissist, another, you know, materialist looking for a trophy. That's not going to end well. Being alone is better than being a narcissist. Better than being somebody's trophy and property. So these are things you have to look out for in the aftermath. You have to trust your intuition. You have to be willing to open up to people that you, not someone else pushes you towards, but that you yourself, you know, feel drawn to. And keep in mind that likely, and again, INFJ perspective, typically like the ones that, you know, there could be something there's going to be obstacles, be it, like I said, some kind of distance, a love triangle, you know, forbidden. There's always, for the ones that are worthwhile, it never comes easy. There's always an obstacle to overcome, and you have to accept that. Because if you just be like, well, you know, the timing and this and that, well, that's how you end up with a narcissist who was in the right place at the right time to begin with, and you don't want that to happen again. So beware of that. Beware of your anxiety. Your anxiety is going to be through the roof. You have to trust in your own self-worth. Try to remember what people have told you since you broke free of the narcissist and try to break free of that conditioning. I struggle with it to this day. But if you truly think that somebody sees you for who you really are, you know, like not just your looks, but sees the things that most people don't, or at least don't talk about, you have to trust yourself enough to like have a deep conversation with that person and see where it goes. And that is how you move on and truly live post narcissistic abuse. Remember to like and subscribe. It's free to do so. Join my Patreon because you just should. I know I'm a boy, but I'm a pretty boy. And, you know, if you want the whole spell work thing, especially if you want something other than love magic, because there is magic beyond love magic. I can't believe in a channel like this, there's nobody seeking revenge, trying to take revenge on a narcissist and hex them. And no, I will not help you get back with anybody who is abusive. I refuse, and contrary to popular belief, you have to help me. No, I don't. No, I really don't. You know, don't try to guilt trip a witch. Just don't. But anyway, please like and subscribe. If you find this video or any other videos helpful, you know, feel free to share them wherever you want. Again, it's free to subscribe to this channel, and by helping it grow and overcome the corporatocracy algorithm, it could potentially help more people be free of narcissistic abuse, embrace their true selves, and embrace free will. Hail Lilith.